For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Friday, the 26th day of March 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may be your own. What else is so special about today? 18 days before the 14th of April 2021 general elections, and it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning several members of the Progressives who are here this morning to talk about their agenda, to talk about the accomplishments that they have achieved during the course of their coalition government as well. So it is my pleasure to have in the studio this morning MP and Minister, Mr. Roy MacTaggart, and he's the incumbent in the electoral district of Georgetown East. Am I correct? Yes, that's right. Also with us, Minister and Member of Parliament, Mr. Joey Hew. He's the incumbent and seeking to continue to represent the electoral district of Georgetown North in our Parliament.
Morning.
Also with us, Miss Barbara Connolly, Member of Parliament and Councillor, the incumbent member for Georgetown South, and she's seeking to be returned to that electoral district as well. Good morning, Miss Connolly.
Good morning, Otzi.
Okay.
And to the wider Cayman Islands.
Also with us, Mr. David White, who is also a Member of Parliament, the incumbent member for the electoral district of Georgetown West, and he's seeking re-election in that electoral district. Mr. White, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, Lucy, and morning, Cayman.
Okay, and no stranger to the people of the Cayman Islands, not an elected official yet, but part of the machinery of the Progressives, and seeking to represent Georgetown Central in our Parliament is Mr. Frank Cornwall. Mr. Cornwall, good morning. Welcome to For the Record, sir.
Good morning, OC, and the wider Cayman Islands.
Okay, and I'm going to ask your leader to take us off.
Well, thank you very much, OC, on behalf of the team, really, just to acknowledge and thank you for hosting us this morning. We are in the midst and heights of the election season, and so when the opportunity presented itself for us to possibly come on here as a group to discuss what we've accomplished in the past 4 years and to sort of map out some of our plans for the coming 4 years, we thought it was a great opportunity to do so. And so that really is why we're here today, to really make the case too for the Progressives to be, and for us, all the incumbents and new candidate, Mr. Cornwall, to be elected to Parliament. So that's our reason for being here, and I want to thank you again for hosting us.
Okay. Just a little bit of housekeeping as well. I want our listening and viewing audience to know that later on during the course of the show, the phone lines will be open. The group will be here with us from 7:30 until 10 o'clock this morning. But meanwhile, until we open the phone lines, you're certainly welcome to send us emails or WhatsApp messages. The email address is fortherecord@candw.ky. I will repeat. For the record, that's one word, at candw.ky. And you can also WhatsApp us on 926-3251. 926-3251 is our WhatsApp number as well. So 925-3261. If I don't do it all in my speech, I forget it as well. Okay, 925-3261 as well. Okay, back over to you, Mr. McTaggart.
Well, I can kick things off for
Sure.
us. I think, OC, in terms of talking about our accomplishments over the past 4 years, I can speak quite succinctly to what's been taking place in my ministry and what I've accomplished there in terms of the country's finances and the management of it. And I do believe that we have established a very strong and credible record of accomplishments throughout the 4 years. We certainly have adhered and delivered on our commitments that we would manage the affairs of the country in such a way that we would generate very strong surpluses and build reserves, and that we would not tax the people. And I think we demonstrated very clearly that we have accomplished that. Through to the end of 2019, we had built up very strong reserves. And then when COVID hit, and we shut the economy down, and particularly now for the longer term with the tourism industry continuing to remain closed. I mean, I think we have had, the reserves that we have built up have really served us well during the pandemic and continue to serve us well, because what it means is that we have not had to go out into the market to borrow money to fund these things. We had the money. That's what you have reserves for a rainy day, for a crisis such as we have had, to use those to help you to finance your ongoing expenses and additional spending that is needed in order to deal with the crisis. And we've been extremely fortunate through to this point. I would say, I would still urge caution while I speak very positively of it. I think we have to proceed and look forward to things with caution, because we are not out of the pandemic. We continue to spend money, at a heightened level in terms of giving support to the business community and to individuals who are so severely affected by the pandemic and the shutdown of the tourism economy through no fault of their own. And so these things will have to continue until such time as the economy can be safely reopened and tourism can return to our shores. So you have to manage that process, and that's what we do. I mean, we are spending or burning through our cash reserves at a rate of about $20 to $25 million a month. Wow. That's what it was averaging last year. I haven't had January and February numbers yet, but that was really what it was averaging. And you can realize at that rate, you start to burn through some significant amounts of cash. We are very fortunate now that in a new financial year, we collect a very significant portion of our revenues in the first 3 months of the year. And I am speaking of, the revenues from the Monetary Authority and from all those business service fees that are collected. And so that has, again, bolstered our cash reserves. But those things, although they're collected, that money is collected in this first quarter, it is used to fund the ongoing expenses throughout the year. Mm-hmm. And so that has given us, even further measure as well to, in terms of the reserves that we have in place that we can use to fund and continue to pay for the things that are needed by the community right now. But I have to say, for the really long term, what we're doing now is not sustainable. We're able to cover it, we're able to manage it now, but that does not last forever. And so we have to be very careful, and we have to be prudent in our spending. And we saw last year some great work and some great savings generated in the budget, particularly in respect of our personnel costs, and where there was quite a bit of delayed recruitment, and we saw quite a bit of savings in an area of government spending called I think consumables. Okay. So those are the sort of things that, again, is one thing I'm really proud of, in the way what we have accomplished there. In the same vein, in November and December I was able to conclude a standby line of credit with a consortium of our local banks here in Cayman, again to give us resilience in terms of government's finances. I say it is a standby line of credit. It only gets drawn on if we need it. And, so far we are in a very good position where, we initially thought we'd have to could have borrowed as much as early as November of last year. Mm-hmm. But that has not arisen, and we see where we are right now. Things are more positive than they were back then. And so the date for our potential borrowing under the line of credit keeps being pushed out. And, on a personal note, I would be very happy if we could get to the point where we don't even have to exercise that. Excellent. But that's something to be seen as we move forward.
Okay, excellent. We're going to take a commercial break now. When we return, one of our listeners has written in and asked, what does that mean for the future in terms of the government, whether or not the argument for your group is that there should be a progressives-led government going into the future after April 14th, so that the policies and actions that you have taken will continue as well. So you'll get an opportunity to answer that. When we return, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
George Wellenward Bodden,
1924 to 1993.
George W. Bodden, son of Bluja and Toslin Bodden, was educated at the one-room schoolhouse in East End. In 1942, he joined the Military Defense Force of the Jamaica Home Guard, in which he became a non-commissioned officer. He married Aloda Rankin, with whom he had 2 children. He became a seaman in 1946, and from 1948 to 1967, he worked for national bulk carriers. When he retired from sea, his engineering experience earned him a supervisory position with a local construction company that erected Cayman's first steel building. During the construction of Owen Roberts Airfield, Mr. Bodden was a supervisor with the contractors. He served East End as mailman, shoemaker, scoutmaster, and organist, and built the first upstairs movie theater. He was the first in East End to use electricity in his home, and later owned the district's first satellite dish. He was the United Church's full-time organist. George W. Bodden was a trustee for the International College of the Cayman Islands from 1976 until his death.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
We are telling you ahead of time, giving you the heads up to get ready. The Black Tie Affair with a circus twist. Step right up. The annual gala hosted by Rotary Central for the Alex Panton Foundation. Saturday, May 29th, Marriott Beach Hotel Ballroom. Step right up. Support the Alex Panton Foundation, dedicated to serving and preserving young people through vulnerable times, mental health intervention, treatment, guidance, preserving life. The ambience of a circus affair. Tickets are limited, tickets are precious. Get your tickets from Rotary Central members. Go online to Rotary Central and the Alex Panton Foundation Facebook pages. Rotary Central and the Alex Panton Foundation. Rotary opens opportunity.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Caymankind.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vamtmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vamt Motors on Walkers Road.
There's nothing like the smell of freshly baked bread. The warm, inviting aroma, the fresh and natural taste. Just like homemade. 100% all-natural, additive-free bread.
Enjoy fresh and natural tasting bread from the iconic Caribbean Bakery. Always delivered fresh to your favorite supermarkets island-wide. Forget the imported frozen and thawed and enjoy our freshly baked selection of quality breads and pastries.
Try our classic white and wheat sandwich breads, coconut and raisin breads, hamburger and hot dog buns, and a great selection of pastries. Feed your family fresh with Caribbean Bakery.
Whether you're finishing a new condo, upgrading your rental property, or simply renovating, make Ropers Enterprises your first stop. Quality furniture at a fraction of the price. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Your home deserves a quality finish. Visit their showroom or shop online at ropers.ky. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning some members of the Progressives. They're either seeking re-election in their respective electoral district, and some are not necessarily first-time candidates, but some are seeking to be elected for the first time in an electoral district as well. They are the individuals who are in the studio with me this morning, Mr. Roy McTaggart, Mr. Joey Hugh, Ms. Barbara Connolly, Mr. David White, and Mr. Frank Cornwall. You will hear a little bit more from the leader, Mr. Roy McTaggart, and when we return from our 8 o'clock news, you will hear individually from each of the candidates who are here with us this morning as well. So back over to you, Mr. McTaggart.
Thank you, O.C. You mentioned a question that came in. Yes. Can I just ask you to repeat it? I think it was asking more for why does that...
Right. Then there is a strong argument for a progressive-led coalition to be re-elected, return as the government, so that the policies that have been initiated, the successful ones, can be continued.
And absolutely, and we believe that 100% that the record on which we are running makes a very strong case for us to be re-elected, and that's why we continue to, as we campaign, to remind the public about our record, and we continue to tout that. We continue now, beginning tomorrow night, we'll in a very, very big way and public way expound now and release our manifesto. So we will have, a document, a booklet that members of the public can actually get a copy of and they can read for themselves. But a number of us will be on the platform there and speaking to various aspects of it. So we believe that there is a clear case, and we just need to keep hammering it out and to reminding the voters that the record is there. If they're dissatisfied with the way we have handled the economy or with the pandemic, because I don't hear our opposition speaking to that in any meaningful way whatsoever. But there is still an agenda to be dealt with, and I want to go back to one of the other accomplishments that I had late last year as well, and that was the arrangement of the loan scheme, the guaranteed loan scheme to assist medium-sized and large-sized businesses. That was a program put together to help local businesses weather the storm, and it was done again in conjunction with the commercial banks in town, because government realized that it did not have the resources to commit to being able to assist in everything that we were doing. We are taking care of the population, but the businesses would need something like this, and that scheme was implemented in December. And I know that there have been a number of applications and that have gone to the commercial banks, and I can say now that we've had the first two of them that have come across the line, and so I'm very happy to see that process is working, and I remain very very optimistic that we will see more borrowing, lending to troubled businesses who need that cushion to help them through until such time as the economy can be normalized. So I'm very happy to report that this morning. In terms of my own constituency, Georgetown East, over the past 4 years, I've been able to accomplish a number of things for my constituents. I'm particularly proud that I was able to oversee the final, completion of the boardwalk, because it is now a fixture in the South Sound community, and it is used every day from morning to evening by residents and non-residents alike. It's 1,500, a quarter mile of very scenic beauty of the ocean and the beach of this, South Coast coastline. And I believe that it will become even more valuable in the future. Second thing I did was government acquired the old pond. I call it a nature pond down on Bel Air Drive, where for many decades, people took their children to, and they were feeding the ducks, and the hickatees and other wildlife that fish that exist in the pond. And there is a very thriving whistling duck community that exists there right now. unfortunately, we do have a lot of chickens too. But those are the things. Now, apart from that, before we quickly break, sure. I mean, I've had a number of drain wells installed in Randyke and in a couple of communities in South Sound. I've had streetlights installed in Randyke again. And those are the sort of things that I've been working on. I think very shortly now, I think the NRA will install crosswalks at the boardwalk, which will enhance, I think, the safety of the area.
Certainly.
But I know you have to take a break now.
Okay, folks, we've reached the top of the hour, the 8 o'clock news. After the news, you will hear individually from each member of the progressives who are around this table this morning. They are Mr. Roy McTaggart, Mr. Joey Hugh, Ms. Barbara Connolly, Mr. David White, Mr. Frank Cornwall. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Radio Cayman Time Check is now 8:01. This time check is brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
This Easter, make it all about the food you and your family love.
Make it about jet fresh seafood and the freshest meat selection.
Make it easy with an Easter family dinner from the deli.
Make it sweet with a custom sweet treat from the bakery.
And make it full of the best cheese from all over the world.
This Easter, make it Foster's. From East End to West Bay, we're the Islands supermarket. For more info, go to fosters.ky.
Foster's. Better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 30th of June 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpensions.ky, and for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. Some 20 micro and small business owners are officially part of the Cayman Islands Center for Business Incubator program. We get more now from CITV's Donna Bush.
Business owners will receive the assistance they need from CICBD staff through the program. Minister of Commerce, the Honourable Joseph Hugh, says will identify, nurture and train Caymanian entrepreneurs to make the micro and small business sector more globally competitive.
We've made contact with agencies throughout the UK. We have contacts with the Small Business Development Center in the US. So we have the ability to put people in touch with the necessary agencies to allow us to explore options overseas. So our goals aren't just local. Our goals are to allow our entrepreneurs to dream bigger than Cayman, to take their ideas and their products internationally. And we believe that we can achieve that here, and this can really be a center of excellence, a center of development, an incubator, an accelerator for our small and micro businesses and our entrepreneurs who have the ideas.
Participating businesses will have a workspace at the residential business incubator for free for a period of up to 2 years. In addition to the space, successful participants will have access to laptops and other office equipment, in-house business advisors, strategic development support, and a special advisory panel consisting of legal, accounting, and other business professionals.
Some business sectors represented are in the fields of animation, media, and communication and manufacturing. The Ministry of Community Affairs invites seniors over the age of 60 to their open house for the Older Persons Active Aging Center next week, Wednesday from noon. The event will feature tours of the center and light refreshments. It's located on 131 McClendon Drive behind Price Right in Georgetown. OPAAC will provide services run by the Needs Assessment Unit and the Department of Children and Family Services. Shortly after it opens its door to the public on April 19th, seniors will also be able to access on-site educational, cultural, and recreational activities. And the Miss World Cayman Islands 2021 pageant sees 6 young ladies from across Cayman vie for the coveted crown and title. Radio Cayman has been putting the spotlight on each contestant, and this week, Radio Cayman Chanta Gallego turns the attention to contestant number 3, 25-year-old Sidoni Barrett, representing the District of Georgetown.
The Miss World Cayman Islands pageant, what made you decide to enter the pageant in the first place?
Entering Miss World Cayman Islands was very important to me because of that idea of being an ambassador. I've always wanted to represent my country on an international stage, and this will afford me that opportunity if I do win. And also to be a role model for the younger generation. I've always been heavily involved in the community. When I was in high school, I was in Key Club, and I would go on Saturdays to the Georgetown Primary School and read to little kids. So that's very important to me to have that involvement in the community and to be a role model for the younger kids. So those are some of the main reasons I entered Miss World Cayman Islands, but also because of what it represents. The platform for Miss World is Beauty with a Purpose, and I like that it doesn't only focus on your beauty, but also like your community involvement, your engagement with charities and local organizations.
Tune into Radio Cayman's 6 p.m. evening news to hear more from contestant 3. The pageant is taking place this year at May 29th at the Harkwell Theatre. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News, I'm John Shea. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has said that Eritrea has agreed to pull its troops from the border with the northern region of Tigray, where fighting has been going on for nearly 5 months. Eritrean soldiers have been accused of widespread abuses in Tigray and are reported to be stationed deep inside the region, although Eritrea denies this. The United Nations says an assessment team has finally reached 2 refugee camps in the Tigray region and found them completely destroyed and all their humanitarian facilities looted. The Shimbela and Hitsats camps housed about 20,000 Eritrean refugees who had fled abuses at home. At least 32 people have been killed and more than 60 wounded in a train crash in southern Egypt. Video and photos of the incident in Sohag province show train carriages derailed above a water channel. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Why work with a Suriba agent? We can tell you that those letters represent a proven understanding of the real estate market in the Cayman Islands. But it also means so much more than that. Our trained Suriba agents are committed to ethics, integrity, and excellence of practice. It's all about confidence, knowing you are working with a qualified Suriba agent. As members of Suriba, your trust is our promise. To find a Suriba agent today or to search thousands of listens, visit Suriba.com. Suriba, the mark of excellence in real estate.
We are telling you ahead of time, giving you the heads up to get ready. The black tie affair with a circus twist. Step right up. The annual gala hosted by Rotary Central for the Alex Panton Foundation. Saturday, May 29th, Marriott Beach Hotel Ballroom. Step right up. Support the Alex Panton Foundation, dedicated to serving and preserving young people through vulnerable times, mental health intervention, treatment, guidance, preserving life. the ambience of a circus affair. Tickets are limited, tickets are precious. Get your tickets from Rotary Central members. Go online to Rotary Central and the Alex Panton Foundation Facebook pages. Rotary Central and the Alex Panton Foundation. Rotary opens opportunity.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
Good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your latest weather right now. Present temperature 79 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels like about 86. Winds are out of the east at 6 miles per hour. Relative humidity 83%. Last night's dew point was at 73. Barometric pressure now at 30.00 and rising. Moderate easterly winds and seas are expected across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours due to a ridge of high pressure over the northwest Caribbean. Our forecast for today, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the mid-80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Later this evening, mainly fair skies, very little chances of late night showers. Temperatures will fall to the low 70s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're at a high tide. Low tide is coming up at 2:23 this afternoon. It's going to be high at 8:20 this evening. For tomorrow, low tide is at 2:31 a.m., high at 8:29 a.m., low at 2:53 p.m., and high at 9:03 p.m. Sunset this evening is at 6:37. Sunrise for tomorrow at 6:24. The outlook is for similar weather conditions through Sunday morning. That's your latest weather right here on your Radio Cayman.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, tell a friend. Having an accountability partner is often helpful in achieving your goals. Let your parents and partner know what you are planning or doing. Sharing with others also helps us to develop the ideas and our vision. Writing down your goals can help to solidify them. for you and help you to stay accountable.
Change your thinking and change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong series was brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
All right, good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your traffic very quickly this morning. Looking at the Crichton Boulevard East-West Arterial, traffic has eased up there, but getting closer. We're looking at some traffic just outside A.L. Thompson along the Crew Road, turning onto the Linford Pearson Highway. Traffic is backed up all the way until you get to Bobby Thompson Way. If you're heading through Agnes Way as well onto Crew Road, traffic there as well. Traffic coming off of Fairbanks. And of course, we've got some traffic along Walkers Road as well as South Church Street. A bit of traffic there as well. But we're looking outside A.L. Thompson. You've got traffic as usual around that roundabout as you make your way onto the S.L. Tibbetts Highway or to Godfrey Nixon Way. Thomas Russell Way, northbound lane traffic. Looking at Edward Street, Shedden Road, the traffic is busy in most streets of Georgetown as you make your way in. Once again, look out for those on foot, bicycle, and motorbikes. Buckle up and stay safe. Your traffic report brought to you by our friends at Subway.
Things just got a bit hotter on Island. Come in today and order the new spicy Korean subs at Subway. They're sweet, spicy, and especially satisfying. Stop in and try the pulled pork with spicy Korean sauce, or the chicken with spicy Korean sauce. And you can message WhatsApp at 929-4658. Order online or use Let's Eat or the Bento app. The spicy Korean subs at Subway in 2 flavors, extra saucy and extra spicy. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
So, Gianna, how often have you been flossing? I see. And are you still working over at the daycare? Okay. How are your boys doing? Right. Now you just tell me if this hurts.
With 99% of medical claims paid in under 5 days, we're like a dentist that doesn't try to talk to you with your mouth full.
That's a doozy.
CG Britke. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that.
This Saturday night, the Progressives and Alliance will share their manifesto at Kirk Home Center from 7 p.m. Radio Cayman will be broadcasting live, or you can watch the live stream on the Cayman Compass Facebook page or YouTube channel. All are invited to a public meeting by the Progressives and Alliance this Saturday, March 27th at Kirk Home Center from 7 p.m.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning some members of the Progressives, either seeking re-election or seeking to hold public office for the first time as well. So in the studio with me this morning, Mr. Roy McTaggart, Mr. Joey Hugh, Ms. Barbara Connolly, Mr. David White, Mr. Frank Cornwall. Over to you, Mr. Hugh. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, OC, and good morning to the listeners, and thank you for having us this morning, this wonderful Friday morning. OC, I'm just going to jump right in and start by talking about the incident at the landfill yesterday at the scrap metals, as it's in my constituency. They are on the scene yesterday monitoring the situation. I just want to congratulate the management at the landfill and the Cayman Islands Fire Services and the Gold Command team for the way in which they handled it. It was a very frustrating situation, but they handled the traffic, and most importantly, they contained the fire to the scrap metals in a safe fashion, and thankfully no one was hurt and without incident. And just to say that, I want to clarify, as I was there on the scene, this is all part of the remediation of the landfill. The items that caught on fire yesterday was the scrap metal that was being separated from the vegetation and all of other types of debris, primarily in an area that goes as far back as the Hurricane Ivan stockpile. And so as part of the remediation, and people will see the white marl over the landfill as the capping continues on the landfill, that area that you can see clearly as you drive by is where they're separating the old Ivan stockpile, if you want to call it that, into vegetation, which they're chipping and recycling and for landscaping, and then the metals, which goes on to the private contractor for crushing and baling, and then being shipped out by barge, and then all the remaining, whether it goes in recycling or where it goes. So, thankfully that had occurred, that we were in the advanced stages of that separation. So when the metals caught fire, whatever it was, whether it was residue fuel or a battery or something, it was contained to the scrap metals, and because of the separation, it wasn't in with the vegetation and other more flammable debris. And of course, with the in particular that area of the landfill being capped, we didn't have any issues with it being spread into the main landfill. And I want to thank everyone for their patience yesterday. It has been a long road for those of us who live in that Georgetown North area. I live about a half a mile away from the landfill as a crow flies, as they say. Of course, many of my constituencies, Watlers Road and the Washington Boulevard, several of us along the 7 Mile Beach Corridor, communities along the 7 Mile Beach Corridor, have endured decades of dealing with the landfill. But there is a press conference this afternoon at 2:00, which I think is going to bring some real relief to many of us, in particular those of us in my constituency who live near to the landfill. So progress is being made. In fact, as regrettable and as scary as the fire was yesterday, the fact that we had progress allowed us to contain it and deal with it in a very efficient manner as we did yesterday versus the previous landfill fires where the entire landfill was on fire because of the lack of that management that we have in place there now. And so I really look at it and say, and I want to congratulate the management of the from DEH and the landfill for the work that they have been doing since the early works contracts were signed a few months back, and for their professionalism yesterday, and of course the Cayman Islands Fire Service once again showing that they're equipped and ready to deal with these problems. So I just wanted to get that out first. Sure. and thank them and continue to ask my constituents for their patience on this matter. This has been going on for decades, but we think we see an end in the very, very near future. I just want to touch on a few things very quickly over, through my ministry. Some of the fantastic work that the ministry has done, the team working along with myself, e-government. We've made tremendous strides there with many departments going 100% online. Department of Commerce Investments 100% online. DVDL is in progress. Planning Department, the POS Planning Online System 100% online. The registrar is 100% online. And Customs, of course, after some growing pains, are 100% online as well. So more and more of our agencies are going 100% online, and the foundation and the back, the foundation and the back end necessary for this to even pick up greater pace is all there now. DCI again, winning several international awards as an organization, taking a complete U-turn over the last few years. Again, going completely online, reviewing their processes and removing some 70% of red tape and hurdles in persons applying for and renewing trade and business licenses. And we've just seen tremendous, in fact, we're struggling to cope with the amount of applications coming in at the moment. And they've done also a fantastic job in stepping up on dealing with the Anti-Money Laundering and Terrorism Financing Act and their role to monitor and to regulate the non-financial services aspect of it, so real estate, jewelry, that sort of stuff. They've done a tremendous job and have certainly played their role in keeping us off of the blacklist in that at this point. SBDC, the Small Business Development Centre, this is something that is near and dear to me. It was one of my main objectives. Once I got elected, we were ready to open the door 2 weeks but just 2 weeks before that, we had the shelter-in-place regulations put in. And we quickly adjusted the team there. I have to congratulate them. They quickly moved from a hand-holding business development centre to one of recovery and managing a formidable task of not issuing one set of grants, but actually 2 and 3 sets, a second set, and then now we're in the third phase of our grants program through that centre. And they also were partnering with the Cayman Islands Development Bank in issuing mortgage, low cost and low interest loans for small and micro businesses. So a tremendous job done by them there. And just day before yesterday, I had the pleasure of opening our incubator aspect of the Small Business Development Centre. So we have 15 Caymanian entrepreneurs who have a space within the centre. It's an incubator / accelerator. They have all of the equipment needed, from the computer to the photocopiers to printers, everything they need there, as well as professional services from accounting to finance to business development to marketing. All will be available to these 15 entrepreneurs free of cost. And so that program was launched on Wednesday, and we're off and running, and I think we're going to see fantastic results out of that incubator program. And of course, the centre is still open for any small and micro business or any entrepreneur seeking assistance in various areas of technical support. Please just go and visit the centre at the Merrins Plaza across from the wharf. I also want to thank the Public Works Department for their work over the last couple of years. They have been phenomenal, not just hurricane season, where they, I think, have really been leaders and have perfected the art of preparation for a disaster like the hurricane, but then also their response after earthquake, something that we're not accustomed to. Both NRA and Public Works Department were exemplary in their responses in securing government properties, dealing with the sinkholes and issues on the roads. And so I just want to thank them for all of their hard work over the last few years. It's been tremendous. And the Public Works Department, again, just a couple of weeks ago, we cut the ribbon on the purpose-built construction apprenticeship program classrooms, where we'll do classrooms upstairs and practical downstairs. This is going to afford 50 young Caymanians, men and women, because we had a very nice mix of ladies and gentlemen there, who will be able to participate in level 1, 2, and 3 City and Guilds internationally recognized construction certifications in mechanical, electrical, plumbing, as well as engineering and architecture. And so this has been, the Public Works Department would not be possible without the men and women of the Public Works Department. They have really embraced and adopted this program. They offer mentorship to the students. They offer them life advice. They offer them HR advice. The department has really embraced this program, and that is the key to the success of it, and the success that we have been seeing with some of the young graduates. 4 of the young graduates we saw at the ribbon cutting. NRA again out working during the shelter in place to pave some of those roads that we would not normally get to without creating tremendous backlog. We were criticized for it, but I think everybody's grateful. Shedden Road being one of those that was long overdue for work, but the challenges were always, how do we shut that road down? It's busy day and night. Several other areas that they did during the shelter-in-place period. And then once we opened up, they have really hit the ground running with lots of major roadworks happening. Of course, the East-West Arteria up to Woodland has been cleared all the way. They're starting to work on the sub-base there, and so tremendous progress happening there to relieve some of the pressures out of the eastern districts. Of course, we're also now expanding from the Chrissy Tomlinson roundabout all the way down to the Hurley's roundabout, 3 lanes in either direction. Part of that is completed. The other sections are now under construction and well on its way. And then later on, we'll take those 3 lanes right down to the King's Roundabout. But at the moment, we're now starting work on the redevelopment of the King's Roundabout, as well with a connector road to Grand Harbour. And I just want to say that we invested immediately in the beginning of the term. We invested in a traffic modelling system. And then we took the time to populate that traffic modelling system. So all of these road works we're doing are not using guesswork. We actually input it into the traffic modelling system. The traffic modelling system will tell us whether or not this is going to have the desired effects that we would like to have. And so we're confident that the results we're looking for with the roadworks we're doing now will be there. And we're very close to finalising all of the deals for the Bobby Thompson, Linford Pearson, Bobby Thompson expansion. And I anticipate that in the next several weeks we will start to see tremendous progress in that area as far as announcements on agreements and then perhaps work starting right away. The Airport Connector Road is another key piece of infrastructure that is now completely filled in. So now works are starting to build it up to the required 4 feet above sea level for the road of the connecting area into the Sparky Drive. So this is going to take us from which would have been very useful yesterday if we could have, from the CIS roundabout on the Esley Tibbetts Highway into Sparky Drive. We're also going to punch through from Seymour Drive into Sparky Drive. So we anticipate that is going to create a tremendous relief to the Butterfield roundabout, which is very congested at the moment. So taking a lot of pressure off of that from the North Sound Road intersection, with a lot of the commercial traffic and the industrial park traffic taking that bypass into the industrial park area, Seymour Drive, Sparky Drive area. Second phase of that to come later on would take it all the way down to Georgetown Yacht Club, connecting it straight into the airport. But again, we know that this is going to create tremendous relief on that Butterfield roundabout, and we're looking forward to that in the next couple of months. Okay. Some works have begun in Georgetown and West Bay Road on a shared road philosophy. You have seen the bike lanes going down as a cyclist yourself. We have a little hold up there now because thankfully the Water Authority saw the wisdom in one of the water companies, I can't say it was Water Authority. I saw that they started work yesterday, but they requested us to hold off for a bit so they could do some necessary upgrades before we pave the road. And we're going to be working from the outside in with the shared street philosophy. So right now we're putting in drains and sidewalks, putting in the bike lanes, and then we're working inside where we'll start to put down decorative medians to slow down and to really put traffic calming measures in place for 7 Mile Beach to encourage people to cycle, walk, and drive carefully and navigate that street. Then there's so many things on planning another department. I guess I said, I just want to congratulate them on going 100% online and achieving several milestones as a planning department. And of course, the launch of Plan Cayman, which we have gotten through the initial stages, and the strategic document has been approved, and the draft policy for the first of the 5 planned areas, 7 Mile Beach, is now ready for public consultation. So the new government will be able to hit the road running and start that process, and that is a tremendous milestone for the country. There has not been a review of the National Development Plan since 1997. So 23 years later, even though that the law calls for the plan to be reviewed every 5 years. And so we split it up into 5 zones. We'll start with 7 Mile Beach this year, and then next year it'll be the next zone, and every year we'll go through the 5 zones and be compliant with the law. Okay. A tremendous effort, and I want to congratulate the CPA and the Department of Planning for all of the work that's done thus far, as I know it has been quite a bit. So if I can just go into my constituency. Sorry, I have a mouthful this morning.
We have about 5 minutes before we go to our commercial.
Okay, fantastic. Right, so within the communities, one of the key issues that I recognized was flooding in several communities, but certainly in mine. And so we started an extensive record-breaking as far as funding drain relief program, and that is not only including the opening of new drains, but also the upgrading of majority of the drains in the community, which were 6-inch pipe and only went to about 50 feet or 75 feet. We improved those to a larger catch basin, a 10-inch pipe, and we went to 100 feet down. in the drilling. So a lot of work in several communities, but certainly around the Washington Boulevard area, we were prone to flooding, and I think we've gotten it under control. Every now and then there's a new development, and that will move the water, and then we have to adjust with that. But overall, we've done a tremendous job there. Another key factor to that, and I want to thank the Mosquito Research and Control Unit for their cooperation, is we reopened and cleaned out the dike system, and then we reopened and the culverts under the Esther Tibbetts Highway to connect those dikes again on the opposite North Sound Road side, allowing the water to drain off from those communities into the dikes and across the road as it used to traditionally. So, once we found out that those culverts had been blocked, we were able to reopen those, and along with the MRCU, we cleaned out the dikes, and you can see them from the Esther Tibbetts Highway, which created tremendous relief from the flooding in those areas. We removed several hundred derelict vehicles. Unfortunately, this is an ongoing project, because as we remove 20, we see 5 more come back. But that project will continue. I want to thank DEH for their support and the community beat officers for their support in that. I want to recognize the home repair program under Minister Seymour's ministry. Several elderly folks within the community benefited from home repairs. It was heartbreaking to see the leaking roofs, etc. And the response there was fantastic, and we were able to dry in, as we call it, several seniors within the community. And so I just want to thank them for that. We created several neighborhood watches. One community in particular is on the West Bay Road. We're seeing 3 to 5 burglaries per month. And along with the beat officers, we walked the community, we met the citizens, we got them together, had several meetings, and were successful in creating the community watch, neighborhood community watch. And within no time, using the network of cameras in people's homes, etc., we were able to catch the culprits. And I think now within those circles, people know not to go into that neighborhood, because it's a very well organized community citizens watch. And I do want to recognize the community beat officers. They have been tremendous. The relationship has been productive, and we continue to work within all of our communities in Georgetown North on the various issues facing us. Feral dogs is an issue within my constituency. We got it under control. There was a lot of publicity and an educational campaign from the Department of Agriculture on this. We've seen some re-emergence of a couple of packs. I've had discussions with the Animal Control Unit, and they are diligently working at it. They're aware of it, and we're going to work together as a community again in identifying the movements of these animals and hopefully capture them before they hurt themselves or hurt someone else. And then, of course, it's not right in my constituency, but Georgetown revitalization is a huge part of it. We've seen quite a few improvements, and a lot of work is going to start in the next few weeks. And also, of course, green spaces such as the Seafarers Park at the tall building site will all be a great benefit and used by our communities. The Washington Boulevard area, the park there is under redevelopment at the moment, and we're looking at another parcel of land to put in, hopefully, a little nature park with a lake and a little walking track around it. These are all plans that are now in the works. And of course, once the Godfrey Nixon extension goes through the Rock Hole area, we've identified 1 or 2 little parcels that we should be able to put some public spaces in there and create little communities. So, in a nutshell, that's my ministry and my constituency. And thank you for the time.
Certainly, thank you very much as well. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we will hear from incumbent Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary, Miss Barbara Conley. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vamtmotors.com or stop by Vamp's service center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vamt Motors on Walkers Road.
Did you know the third most important factor for customer retention is cleanliness? With 95% of shoppers saying exterior appliance influences where they decide to shop. Keep your business clean with Roper's Janitorial. From offices to restaurants, interior and exterior, walls to rugs and flooring. Roper's cleans it all, including 24-hour emergency service. Roper's Janitorial, 949-2511 or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Dress your business for success with Roper's Janitorial. We make your business shine. 949-2511. Roper's, providing products and services for better public health.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, we have some members of the Progressives who are either seeking re-election and or seeking office to hold office for the first time. They are Mr. Roy McTaggart, Mr. Joey Hill, Ms. Barbara Connolly, Mr. David White, and Mr. Frank Cornwall. We are now going to hear from incumbent member of Parliament who's seeking to continue to represent the electoral district of Georgetown South in our Parliament. Ms. Barbara, over to you.
Thank you, OC. Yes, I am seeking to be re-elected in the constituency of Georgetown South at the upcoming elections on April the 14th. I want to first thank the people of Georgetown South for placing their confidence in me. I was extremely honoured to have served them over the past 4 years and look forward to serving them for another 4 years if I am elected on April the 14th. OC, I think I have worked extremely hard over the last 4 years on the ground, working for my people in Georgetown South. And I will just list some of my achievements. I have several here, but I will just list a few of my major achievements. First of all, I launched approximately 8 neighbourhood watch programs in Georgetown South. And as a result of that, and I always tell people that even the Windsor Park area, which we did have a lot of crime at some point in time, is so safe at this time. I mean, it's just made a tremendous difference in just having these neighbourhood watch programs established. With the neighbourhood watch programs, we also develop the chats, the WhatsApp chats, and on those chats we have most of the residents on the streets, and then we have your beat officer also on that chat. So if there's any issues at all in terms, anything suspicious going on in your neighborhood, that is communicated through that chat. So it's a very good tool that we use, and it's very effective. I've also worked with Mr. White, my colleague here, with NRA to install a major drainage system in the Windsor Park area. And we also worked with NRA to resurface Oak Mill Street. That was a major roadwork project, and we have been it's just been, the people there in Oak Mill Street were so appreciative of the fact that that was done, because that was long in coming. The cleaning and revitalizing of the pond in Windsor Park, that was another major undertaking. It took several weeks for me and some of the residents in Windsor Park, as well as others in the community, that actually came out and helped clean and revitalize that pond. And it's still being worked on. It's still being improved. As a matter of fact, NRA also assisted this week in placing or installing a guardrail around that pond, because it was quite dangerous when you had there was a corner that when you approached the pond, and I was always mindful of the fact that it was such a dangerous spot if a car actually drove in there, or kids going there to feed the fish, because we have about over 100 fish in that pond. So a lot of people go there and feed the fish, and it's a really nice little area for families to hang out. We actually just installed a bench there, and I'm planning on putting a picnic table as well, so that families just go there and just enjoy the pond. I was instrumental in renaming the South Sound community, the South Sound Beach to Consuelo Beach. That was about 2 years ago. And another major undertaking was underbrushing of the parcel of land that government acquired adjacent to Smith Barcadere. That was also a major undertaking. And in as much as there has been some controversy over that, I just want the public to know that there was not one penny of government funds that was invested in that underbrushing. That was all from private citizens that actually, and volunteers, including the prisoners that came out and did that underbrushing. So just want to get that out there, that there was no funds spent from the government coffers for that undertaking, that project. I was also instrumental in the installation of the pedestrian crossing at Smith Barcadere, and that was long due in coming. So I just was happy to have had that done during my 4 years in office. I sponsored the installation of Wi-Fi at Smith Barcadere and South Sound Community Centre. Delivered masks to constituents during COVID-19. As a matter of fact, I also had one of my constituents in Georgetown South that actually made over 300 masks during our lockdown, and I was out there as an essential worker, just delivering masks and assisting with that undertaking, with that project. I have several other achievements, but it's just too long to list all of them. Just wanted to say that I did also assist some of my young people in my constituency with job placements. So it's still a lot of work in progress, and I would like for the people of Georgetown South, if they see fit, to elect me again for another 4 years, so that I can continue the work the ongoing work that I have done over these last 4 years.
Okay,
thank you
very much. I think we have enough time that we can start Mr. White as well. And Mr. White, Mr. David White, is seeking re-election in the electoral district of Georgetown West. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, O.C. I would also like to thank the constituents of Georgetown West for allowing me to represent them over the last 4 years. And to be honest, first of all, I'd like to say thank you, Barbara. I think you said most of everything, so it's less for me to say, because Barbara and I work very closely together because we border each other on most of the roads.
Okay.
So most of the projects that we do it together. I'm happy and I'm proud to say that I'm a go-between the constituents and companies, the departments of government. Whenever any problem comes up and they need any help, employment, a lot of people have come to me looking employment. I've been to companies, I've been to some of the departments, and I've been able to find jobs for, quite a few constituents in Georgetown West. So that's one of the areas I'm very happy with. As Barbara says, the neighborhood watches, we've done a few. We've done a few together, but I've done quite a few in certain areas in Georgetown West, and we set up WhatsApp chat groups, and I can see what's going on. And as the Minister said, Minister Hugh says, a lot of the crime has been cut down just by having community beat officers on these chats, and they see the complaints, and we get videos on the WhatsApp chats of people who are coming around trying to break into cars.
Yeah.
Yes. So a lot of that, they know that's happening now, and the crime wave has started ceased, in certain areas. The roads, as Barbara says, we are very proud when we get, and I must congratulate the Minister Hugh and NRA. Anytime we have any issues with roads, we go to him, we go to his ministry. I would like to mention Brian Chinyi. He has been fantastic. When we go to him, a lot of the problems, we just mention it to him, and it's ongoing. We have a lot of roads that are being resurfaced, and they are ongoing. We have Water Authority now who is putting pipes on Anthony Drive, and when that is finished, the NRA will be resurfacing Anthony Drive, so we're very happy with that. But there's a lot of roads that we resurfaced, and then the drainage, the flooding that we had, we get in touch with the ministry, and it's done. In no time we have the problem solved, and as he says, some of the drains were expanded, and it's taking care of the flooding. Mm-hmm. But also the derelict vehicles. For a few years now, we've had many areas that have derelict vehicles that when we complain about it, the residents of the areas, they complain about it, and I'll go to Minister Dwayne Seymour and his ministry, and in no time you can see, but as the Minister Hugh says, you get it cleared and it's looking good, and then slowly but surely you see derelict vehicles coming back, but they're on top of it, and we just make a complaint and it's taken care of, So there's a lot of things that we could talk. I could go on and talk about. Up to last night, I was at a lady's house because we were around canvassing, and she was so happy with Minister Hugh with a small business grant, and she was telling me about it. So it helps me, a lady in my constituency, who is thanking the minister for, giving a grant to her small business, and she's saying if she didn't get it, there's no way her business could have continued. So through that ministry, it's helping me. So I go to all the ministries whenever a certain problem comes up, and it's solved, and it's helping me. So I thank everybody for all we've done, and everybody's helped me, in my constituency.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the common themes that I'm hearing here is that having boots on the ground is extremely important. And one of the questions that I would have, and you may want to answer it now or answer it later, is that seeing the importance of having boots on the ground, the fact that some members of Parliament will be parliamentary secretaries, some will be ministers, and will be preoccupied with doing things. How important then is the creation of advisory district councils in terms of providing the type of advice and guidance that you would need in relation to the challenges and problems that the various constituencies are experiencing.
I'll go ahead and take it on as best I can, OC, but I mean, because you speak specifically to the district councils and, what's in the Constitution. There does exist a district council's law. I think it was probably passed into law, it's been a number of years, certainly since the new Constitution was brought into effect. With the movement to single-member constituencies in 2017, there are some substantial amendments that need to be made to the law in order to make it fit for the purpose of the district councils. I know that within several of our communities and in our electoral districts, particularly in Northside and East End, I mean, Mr. Miller always refers to his district council, but it isn't strictly the district council that is contemplated by the law. And same situation in the Red Bay and Prospect area. These are all private initiatives that and community groupings that have come together. So, I mean, one of the things we will have to do now is to amend that law to make it fit for purpose, and we can get on with this idea of implementing the district councils, because it is, I believe it is certainly a critical component of what we are.
And as the leader of the Progressives, if you are re-elected and if you become the leader of a coalition in government, are you committed to that?
I am committed to it, absolutely. The other thing I wanted to get back on and touch upon is this. David was mentioning it just now with the stipends. And, one of the real benefits of increasing the stipends and giving the stipends in the first place too, and I mean, is that a lot of the money that is given to allowing citizens to continue to pay their mortgages and other obligations that they have. And you cannot underestimate the importance of that, because I've talked now with the commercial banks, leaders of the commercial banks here in Cayman, and they tell me that the level of defaults on loans and mortgages is there is no significant increase. And I have to believe that it is as a result of all the work that we have done and the amount of money that we are expending to assist our citizens that enables them to continue.
Okay, excellent. Folks, we reached the top of the hour. We're going to have our headline news. We're going to hear from Mr. Frank Cornwall when we return. And for those of you who are anxious to call in, we will soon be opening up the phone lines as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
There's nothing like the smell of freshly baked bread. The warm, inviting aroma, the fresh and natural taste. Just like homemade. 100% all-natural, additive-free bread.
Enjoy fresh and natural-tasting bread from the iconic Caribbean Bakery. Always delivered fresh to your favorite supermarkets island-wide. Forget the imported frozen and thawed, and enjoy our freshly baked selection of quality breads and pastries.
Try our classic white and wheat sandwich breads, coconut and raisin breads, hamburger and hot dog buns, and a great selection of pastries. Feed your family fresh with Caribbean Bakery.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 388 COVID-19 tests on Thursday, with one coming back positive. The individual is a traveler who tested positive following routine screening. They will remain in isolation until considered recovered. The European Union leaders have stopped short of banning vaccine exports after a protracted row with the Anglo-Swedish manufacturer AstraZeneca. At a summit on Thursday, they gave backing in principle for toughening export controls, but a post-summit statement emphasized the importance of global supply chains needed to produce vaccinations. Elements of the AstraZeneca vaccination are manufactured in a number of EU states. And China has imposed sanctions on 9 UK citizens, including 5 MPs, for spreading what it called, quote, lies and disinformation about the country. The group are among the most vocal critics of China in the UK. It comes in retaliation for measures taken by the UK government on Monday over human rights abuses against the Uyghur Muslim minority group. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Now is your chance for big savings on all GE appliances at Brandsource Home Gallery. Brandsource needs to make room for more stock, so that means big savings for you. Save $600 on GE front load launch repairs and save $800 on double wall ovens and French door smart refrigerators. Save on dishwashers, ranges, microwaves, cooktops, wine coolers, and more. Now through Saturday the 27th at Brandsource Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Don't miss this chance for big savings on all GE appliances. Hurry in today.
Saturday night at 8 o'clock on Breeze Radio, 105.3 FM in Grand Cayman and 91.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Join us for the musical continuation of Celebrating Our Seafarers. Music, you should know, was an integral element in their far-flung journeys around the world. On your Yesteryear musical on Saturday at 8 p.m. on Breeze Radio, we'll feature some of those favorite seafarers' songs. That's 8 p.m. Saturday on Breeze Radio, 105.3 FM in Grand Cayman and 91.9 FM in Little Cayman and Cayman Brac.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, and this is a paid slot from 7:30 until 10 o'clock. Some members of the Progressives who are either seeking re-election or seeking office for the first time. In the studio with me, Mr. Roy McTaggart, Mr. Joey Hugh, Miss Barbara Connolly, Mr. David White, Mr. Frank Cornwall. I want to remind our listeners, we do have voice notes, we do have WhatsApp messages, and we will be sharing those, playing them for our panel here as well, and we will soon be opening up the phone lines. But before we hear from Mr. Frank Cornwall, we're going to hear a few more comments from Mr. Joey Hugh. Mr. Hugh.
Thank you, OC. I just wanted to, during the last segment, we heard from Parliamentary Secretary and Ms. Barbara Connolly and Parliamentary Secretary Mr. White, and the theme there was about work being done and getting assistance from the different agencies, and you referred to boots on the ground. Mm-hmm. And, that's what it is. It's part of being a team that works together. And despite the fact that it's single-member constituencies, when we are organized as a team, we're able to help each other throughout all of the constituencies. And that is a major role that you have to play as a representative of your constituencies here in such a small community like Cayman. And you have to be there to be able to work with the non-for-profits, work with the beat officers, the churches, the community, various community groups that are aiding and assisting your constituents. And sometimes it's a matter of we got all of this, a yard is flooding, and this community group has purchased some material, but we don't have a piece of equipment to spread it. Then we can call an NRA and say, hey, we have a community project happening. We just need the material spread, and we can get that done. So it requires you to be on the ground, be in your community, and work along with all the various organizations that are trying to better the lives of all of our constituents. And I just wanted to raise that point because that's something I think that's greatly overlooked in our day-to-day lives. People see us in the Legislative Assembly or maybe in a press conference or something, but many of us, and I can tell you all the people around this table, including Mr. Cornwall in his position as Assistant to the Premier, we spend tireless hours out in the community assisting people, everything from flood relief during the rains, You know, the one thing that one of my greatest supporters and she's also can be a great critic told me when I decided to run for Georgetown North, she said, well, I hope you have your water boots. And I went and we all bought water boots together. Councillor White was with. We all drove down to the store and bought water boots together because you have to go out there when it's raining, and you got to ensure that even though you did all your work and you got the dreams, you want to go and make sure that people are okay. And sometimes you have to go and rescue people if you just don't know what's going to happen. And that's just one example. But, you know, I can tell you that many of us, you know, all of us around this table spend countless hours assisting people across a broad spectrum of, not always is it problems. Sometimes it's actually really good stuff and they just need a little bit of help. They need a contact with someone in a particular agency or something. And that's the role we play as a representative of the community and not the country as a whole.
Yes, certainly. Mr. Frank Cornwall, welcome, sir. Good morning. No stranger to the people of Georgetown Central as well. Tell us about your initiatives, your aspirations in terms of representing the people of Georgetown Central.
Good morning, Osi. Like you said, I'm no stranger to Georgetown Central and the wider Cayman, as a matter of fact. Serving as a political assistant to the Premier for the past 7 years, I've grown to know a lot about the people's issues, needs, and concerns throughout this entire island. Because in that role, I've worked with people from all over the country. And it's become a part of my way of life. And when I looking back on Georgetown Central, which is my basic home community, and seeing that there are things that actually needs to be really done in that constituency that haven't been done for the past 4 years. It actually touches me inside when I look and I see the things and needs that people do have that they're misrepresented with, and it just put to me that I needed to do more for them. So that's one of the reasons that I put myself forward as a representative for Georgetown Central. And some of the things that I want to see, I want to uplift that community to where it takes the stigma away from the basic Georgetown area in itself. Because Georgetown Central is a diverse constituency. Which leads all the way up to Tropical Gardens.
Okay.
So when some people say they represent Georgetown Central isn't significantly Shedden Road, Martin Drive, and Scranton areas. So even in that particular zone, there are a lot of issues that is more so needed to be addressed than in other areas. And so some of the things that I see that I actually need to do for those people is there's a lot of lighting and improvements and drainage, because we do have a flooding issue, especially in Martin Drive. It's an area that has a lot of flooding whenever there's rain. And I want to be able to help those people to get those things done, because it's been lacking. And not only that, I also want to help the unemployed Georgetown Central people to get access to courses and skills and improve their ability to be employed. You know, I'm very supportive of construction training that is happening under the Ministry at Public Works. Mm-hmm. And I would like to see that more. I would like to see it expanded and taken to a bigger level where there's training available through even the private sectors. And you know, I am experienced in construction because I have been doing it for over 30 years. And so I know the market, I know the demands, I know what it takes. And when I see that there are certain other things that needs to be done for the community, which I've been doing for quite a while now. Hands-on projects for people. You don't really see those things because I'm not the type of person who actually goes around and everything that I do for someone, I actually, video myself or go out and start to talk about what I've done for people in the community. But I've been doing a lot for the people in the community. And I just need to expand on that representation that I've been given, for a long time. And, even now, government has now started the cleaning of the Scranton Park. There is plans to put in a walking track, more green space, slides and swings for it. So things like that is a true upliftment within that community, in that area. And I'm willing to work with the committee and the Scranton Committee and government to get that project through and completed in a timely manner. And there, like I said, with my knowledge that I have in construction, for a long time I have been assisting seniors to either repair their, like Minister Hughes spoke about, home repairs. Now I also do it as a part of my help to community. And I go and I would seek sponsorship for things when I see them that needs to be addressed or it's brought to my attention. And I'll go seek sponsorship. And sometimes I even buy the materials myself and go in, take a team in, and actually work with the team to get these things done or get the help that is required for the citizens. And like I said, I just want to be able to do more for Georgetown because I see that we've been lacking the necessary representation that we actually need. Because people actually need hands-on and things. And I see a lot of derelict vehicles that are still around within the community and illegal dumping, garbage. And I want to work to get those things addressed and cleaned. And as I was out canvassing OC, I see where there are issues that are simply can be addressed. It doesn't take a brainstorm to get those things done. And as any good representative would do, OC, I'm not there yet, but I hope that Georgetown Central sees it fit to put me there April the 14th. Okay. And I've seen areas where, like I said, lighting, drainage, and I've called it in and I've sent to the ministry, and I've even received response that is being sent on, and it should be addressed in the near future. So, it is a role that I've played for 7 years as a political assistant to the Premier, getting these things done. And I'm no stranger to it. And I just want to bring it back to the table and get more of this happening in the communities.
Excellent. So you're saying basically that if you're elected, there's not a steep learning curve that you have to go through because based on what the work that you do now and your experience that you can hit the ground running.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, OC, because like I said, I've been doing it for 7 years. I'm in the role of my running mate. I'm in the role that he was in after the 2013 election. Within the 2013 election, a lot of people may not know, but I was the number 7 seed for the party. I was nominated as a candidate in 2013, and unfortunately, of the circumstances that the incumbent was chosen to run with the party over me.
Okay.
So, and ever since that time, I've been actually, from a year in after 2014, I've been in that position.
Okay, we're going to thank you very much for that, Mr. Corner. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, Mr. White, I have a question that I'm going to give you now, and then you can respond later on. Paul, we have a voice note as well, and I believe we're going to briefly open up the phone lines as well. So this one says, good morning. Please ask Mr. White if he is re-elected, if it is possible to encourage the property owners at the corner of Miskippy Lane to be a good corporate citizen and keep, or a good citizen and keep their yards or their property clean and free of the dense vegetation. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, folks, the conversation will continue with some members of the Progressives, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast, and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vamtmotors.com or stop by Vamp's service center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vamt Motors on Walkers Road.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Now is your chance for big savings on all GE appliances at Bransource Home Gallery. Bransource needs to make room for more stock, so that means big savings for you. Save $600 on GE front load launch repairs and save $800 on double wall ovens and French door smart refrigerators. Save on dishwashers, ranges, microwaves, cooktops, wine coolers, and more. Now through Saturday the 27th at Bransource Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Don't miss this chance for big savings on all GE appliances. Hurry in today.
And now a paid political message from the Progressives.
The strength of a team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. This election, vote for an experienced government. Vote for a government who leads with you in mind. And vote for a government who has a trusted and reliable track record. The Progressives have guided us safely through one of the most dangerous periods in our history. The Progressives have shown us the importance of working together to strengthen and protect our islands. Together, we're stronger. On April 14th, vote for a stronger, safer future. Vote Progressives.
Put your X for the Progressives. Serving you is the objective.
This is the paid advertisement by the Progressives.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Records. The Record in the studio with me this morning, some members of the Progressives. They include Mr. Roy McTaggart, Mr. Joey Hugh, Ms. Barbara Conlon, Mr. David White, Mr. Frank Cornwall. So before we took the commercial break, we had a question or a request from one of our listeners in relation to Kippy Lane and the vegetation in that area. Miss Kippy Lane, Mr. White.
Thank you, and I would like to thank the caller for that question. And I would just like to say that I won't have to wait, or I will not wait until if I'm elected or re-elected. I will deal with that straight away, because that was one of the roads that the NRA upgraded for us, and we're happy with that. But I know the property, and I'll find out who the property belongs to. And in fact, today I'll do that, and I'll get in touch with them and see what can be done.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We have a caller on hold. Caller, welcome to For the Record. They say brevity is the spice of life, or the soul? No, brevity is the soul of wit. Brevity on a talk show is the life of the talk show itself. So we're going to ask you to please be as brief as possible. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes. Good morning, OC.
Good morning.
My name is Len Moxham.
Yes, sir.
And good morning to the guys that are on the panel there with you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Right.
Morning.
OC, I have two main subjects that I really have to sort of get cleared up from the progressives before they even think about running again. You understand? And those two issues are from 2005 that we got the property in the Brack in our possession, that we're the landowners of that property where the Pioneer Bakery is, right? I repeatedly contacted whoever was in charge or left messages for the people that were in charge of paying what the government, the same, not progressive, but they're part of it. And not one of them really came to my assistance, except for Joey Hugh. He went on a talk show one day, some back in 2018 or 2019, I can't remember exactly. But he claimed that he wanted to know all the facts and everything about it. Until this day, this man had never called me back, and no one from his office called me back to let me know what the position was on the government paying off the debt that they incurred.
Okay, caller.
On our property.
We know what's the second point so that we can give an opportunity to respond. We don't have a whole lot of time to elaborate on things. We know what the issue is in terms of that. What's the second one?
I'll just go on to the second one. The second one is that according to the Black Top, not the Mall Road, the Black Top, I have information concerning the landowner on 20 on Stonewall Drive. We are 28 Stonewall Drive, and down from there was not supposed to be any three-story buildings. And now, according to the Black Top, this landowner circumvented whatever the law stipulates through the help of one of the persons on your panel. And I'm not calling any name, but I want to find out if they think that the progressive government will widen 20 Stonewall Drive.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll end with this, OC. Martin Luther King said in one of his statements, if a man in life haven't found anything that he would die for, he's not fit to live. Thank you very much, OC.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Paul, let's get the voice note now, please.
To the incumbents and candidates of the Progressives. The following questions I have relate to primarily the incumbents of the Progressives. The first question is, if elected, would you support strengthening the framework laid out in the Constitution for dealing with MPs whose behavior is unbecoming of Parliament? If yes, how? If no, why not? The second question is, how can we trust your judgment and integrity if you have, either in silence or in action, stood by a perpetrator? The next question, how do you justify your ongoing inaction in failing to discipline the Speaker in Parliament for his actions? Thank you and have a good day. Looking forward to your responses.
Okay, I want to thank that caller. We have another caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Please be brief.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to your panel. I just want to say two things. One, a quick statement of praise, and a quick question. I want to, the public needs to know how awesome Minister Hugh has been for the last 4 years, and that he has given so many unemployed Caymanians the opportunity to start an entrepreneurship or a micro business or a small business with the reduction of the trade and business license fees to just the filing fee. That is the most incredible thing that anyone could have done to get people out and employed, where they can subcontract themselves to the bigger conglomerates and get work. So I want to give him praise for that, because he took the unemployment in a different route, and hundreds hundreds of Caymanians got work. I can afford to tell you that because I helped a lot of them do their applications. So thank you, Minister Hugh. I'm praising you today because you deserve it. You have done a lot for your people, and you love your people, and we appreciate you 100%. Also, I know that there was some meeting the other night with you. I'm not remember if it was Tropical Gardens or in Southtown, where you mentioned something in regards to stamp duty. I'm not clear on that, but I'm wondering, Mr. McTaggart, maybe you could elaborate on the fact if a Caymanian wants to buy a second property, would they be able to apply to the ministry for a stamp duty waiver on that so that they can own a second home or a second piece of land or something?
Okay. Thank you very much, caller, for that. We'll have Minister. Paul, let's squeeze one more call in before the commercial break, and then after the commercial break, we will give our panel an opportunity to respond to those questions and callers that we had previously. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah. Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to ask you to please be as brief as possible.
Definitely. Okay, my name is James Sternley Banks III. I want to congratulate all of the
progressives
that is there this morning. Okay, that is one. And I need to speak to Mr. Hugh, Mr. Joy Hugh.
Mm-hmm.
A brief moment, not over the telephone. It is necessary that if I could get a little seating with him for a couple of minutes, we're going to discuss a very important part for our country.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
His number.
What we would like you to do, we would like you to leave your phone number, your contact number with Mr. Paul Silver Fox. Leave that number with him. He will pass that on to Mr. Hugh, and Mr. Hugh will be in contact with you.
Now, let us remind each other of this now, that I need to speak to Joey in person. It definitely not to be the person. I don't want.
Yeah, well, you will discuss that personal meeting, the venue, the time, and everything with him when he calls you on the phone.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay.
So you folks just continue to do a good job.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we will have our panel respond to the queries, questions, comments that were made by previous calls as well. Please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
There's nothing like the smell of freshly baked bread. The warm, inviting aroma, the fresh and natural taste. Just like homemade. 100% all natural, additive-free bread.
Enjoy fresh and natural tasting bread from the iconic Caribbean Bakery. Always delivered fresh to your favorite supermarkets island-wide. Forget the imported frozen and thawed and enjoy our freshly baked selection of quality breads and pastries.
Try our classic white and wheat sandwich breads, coconut and raisin breads, hamburger and hot dog buns, and a great selection of pastries. Feed your family fresh with Caribbean Bakery.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
The Chamber of Commerce, in association with Foster's, is hosting a series of candidate forums. Candidates from each of the 19 constituencies respond to questions submitted by the public in a recent online chamber survey. Watch the forums by streaming the Chambers or Radio Command's Facebook or YouTube channels on CIG TV or Logic Channel 23, weeknights from 7:15 p.m. Visit caymanchamber.ky for up-to-date election news and candidates' profiles. The forums are also proudly sponsored by DART, Affinity Recruitment, and Bawden's Legal and Corporate.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the Record with Orit Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have, folks, we have a few questions and comments as well. Who wants to go first?
I'll go ahead and take there. A couple that I think I can deal with.
Okay.
OC, one deals directly with me as Commissioner for Stamp Duty, and it referred to a statement that I made at one of our rallies earlier this week with regard to changes that are likely to come forward now as, well, I shouldn't say likely, they will come forward to the stamp duty, to the first-time Caymanian buyer, home buyer program.
Mm-hmm.
And what I indicated is what we had announced from 2019, in November 2019, with regard to that Premier announced then, just never really. I mean, it sort of sounds cliche, but with lockdown and everything else, it stayed left by the wayside. And my minister, I know, had taken it up again. But what we're going to do is to amend the stamp duty law that in such a way that it would allow for every first-time Caymanian buyer of property, whether it be a home or land,
Mm-hmm.
to have received the first 400,000 or 500,000. Haven't decided on what that final number will be, but whatever that number is going to be, everybody will get that. As it is right now, if the value of your home that you are buying is between, it goes over the $400,000, you start to pay a stamp duty on the full amount.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's between 400,000 and 500,000, I think it is at 2%. Anything over 500,000 is 7.5%. So that is the gist of the amendments that are going to be made to the stamp duty law to allow for this to take place. I receive dozens of requests from people and receive, looking for information about it and saying, why aren't we doing this? So we're happy to take it on, and we are going to get that accomplished for them. But as far as Caymanians, getting a second or third or fourth, exemption, I don't think that's practical. The stamp duty regime is one that government relies on in terms of its revenue stream. If we start to dismantle that and to decimate it, then it has very significant implications for us, because one way or another we have to find the money elsewhere. And so those are the sort of things that you have to consider when you're looking at these things. They sound great. And I've even heard one politician talking about having, your first three properties free. Someone has to pay for it at the end of the day. And, we are able and fortunate that we can have this scheme in place. And, we want to make it as easy as possible for Caymanians to acquire their first piece of property and to live the Cayman dream. Everybody desires and wants land and a home. The next question, I think, that came up from a listener, she had multiple questions.
Mm-hmm.
It dealt with the
strengthening the framework laid out in the Constitution for dealing with MPs whose behavior is unbecoming of Parliament.
Well, I mean, there is, I think, sufficient checks and balances in the existing system that I think that we have. You have the standards in public life law, which is supposed to govern, I'm searching for the right word here, the activities of public servants. In addition, in the political realm, certainly on the government bench, you have the Premier has wide powers to remove and to appoint members of his cabinet. I'm not in favor personally of the ability of the public to recall an MP if they don't like how he has performed. You're elected for 4 years, and I believe everyone ought to have that opportunity. The idea, I think, comes from what you see in the United States, where you have a multi-tiered system of government, where you have the federal government as well as you have the state and local government. And, we don't have, it can't be compared to a small situation like Cayman and doing this. But I would also say one of the things I'm keen to see happen now is for us to get a code of conduct for members of parliament and for cabinet. And I am aware, I haven't seen it, but I am aware that there exists a draft that had been within the civil service. So I do believe that there is opportunity for improvement there, but in terms of wholesale scale changes to the structure and of government and the legislature, I don't think that there are compelling reasons at this point. I think once we can get a code of conduct put in place with regard to the behaviour of members of parliament, then it ought to also contain mechanisms for discipline for those who do not abide by and subscribe to observe the protocols.
Okay, Mr. Hugh, you want to?
Yeah, just on that, one of the roles and responsibilities of the Standards and Public Life Office and its committee is to recommend codes of conduct to prevent any minister, public authority, or public officer employing their powers for any personal benefit or advantage, and to recommend legislation to provide appropriate sanctions. I think if we can add another recommendation or another function to the Commission to deal with behaviours of persons in that particular area, then not only will we have the code of conduct, but it can also be governed by the Public Life Commission.
Okay. Do you want to respond to the caller who had some comments directly about you, sir?
Yes, I think there was two callers. One with the situation in Kimmerbrook, and I thought I had responded to the individual, whether it was in writing or by telephone. If I didn't, I apologize. He says I did not. I know the gentleman very well. This is a long-standing issue between himself and I think the district administration in Brack and the police station. And I think that the solution there was that it was a matter of a domestic nature, that he should get legal representation and go to the courts with it. It was not something that I could resolve through my ministry, which has neither do I have responsibility for lands and or district administration. And so I apologize if I did not get back to him. I thought that I did, as I know the gentleman very well and I've known him for a very, very long time. I am not aware of any issues with the Stonewall Drive. I've sent a request into the ministry and also to the Department of Planning to update me on that. So again, I will undertake to have a look at that. The second caller, I want to thank them for their words as well. And yes, I did. I actually even forgot to mention in my overview the continued waiver of trade and business licenses for both applications and renewals under the incentives program for the small and micro businesses. We also, after the pandemic, or during the shelter in place time, we were focused on saving lives. But I also recognize that once we reopen the economy, that a key factor in that reopening and the survival of our local economy was that of small and micro businesses. And so, along with the grants that we provided through the Small Business Development Centre, we waived all late fees for trade and business licenses, and we continued the waiver of all application fees and renewal fees for trade and business licenses, so that our small and micro businesses were not faced with the challenges of paying back fees and trade and business license fees before they could get their doors open and make a bit of money. So we recognize as a government the importance of that sector, and I think that we can all safely say that the economy is alive and well, and we're continuing to do our part in supporting this very important sector of the economy to ensure that it remains vibrant.
Okay. Paul, how many calls do we have on hold? 4 calls. We're going to try to accommodate as many of them as we can. We're going to close it off at those 4 calls because before 10 o'clock, we have to give each member around the table an opportunity for some closing comments as well. And we have to bear in mind that this is their time. They have paid for it. They determine exactly how their time is going to be utilized as well. First caller, and all callers, we're going to ask you to please be brief. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to give God thanks for our very nice representatives. They have treated us well, treated us, the people, very well. And I also like to say it's nice to be important, but it's very important to be nice.
Great. Well said.
And I say the representative treat us nice. They treated us very well. Put them back in power. That's what I got to say.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You do the same as well. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. I just wanted to second the other lady's comments in relation to Minister Hugh and the way that he's run his ministry for the past 4 years. As a young Caymanian with 3 businesses, we have, greatly benefited from the waivers of the trade and business license fees and so forth. It's allowed us to grow and to focus better on our marketing. So I can't see anyone else in the candidate lineup ever sitting in that chair, Minister Hughes. So all the best of luck to you and everyone else that is by your side right now.
Thank you too. Okay, thank you.
And I also want to point out to everyone that the world is still managing COVID, and here in the Cayman Islands, I noticed that there's more job opportunities, more business opportunities than even before the lockdown, and that is a testament of how the country has been run. And as one of PPM's past biggest critics, I must commend the government on how they have handled everything and under the stress and the pressure of everything that's happening globally. So congratulations to that, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, caller. We can grab one more call, or we're going to squeeze the 2 callers in before the break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to the panel. I'll try to be brief. Questions number 1. Will, if re-elected, the PPM strengthen and get back to the original standard in public and life law that was weakened by my PPM? Will they restore the constrictions that were put on the Freedom of Information law by my PPM government? And I would like to find out, what is my PPM government going to do to ensure that our right-of-ways, which have been taken away, which are under threat, another 34 by the DART Corporation in the 4 DART Alliance, what are they going to do to preserve our right-of-ways and to rewrite the proposals for the amendment that were put forward in September and October last year to the prescription law and the registered land law? And lastly, will government publish all of the contracts and the agreements where subsidies have been given to various entities for various reasons, and to tell us why they were given and what measures are there to show that those entities have been compliant with all these subsidies of millions and millions of dollars that are paid out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay.
You got what you wanted, OC, today.
Excellent. You were great. You were great.
Okay, you got it.
Okay. Last caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning.
Good morning.
You seem breathless. Gentlemen and lady, I know some of you, I know all of you. Seems like you're looking into, what you say, with no recall vote, so you give them something, and seems like you're looking into a code of conduct. Don't really understand that. You could explain it a little better, or. But I take it that this will be like written rules, how we should all operate when if we are elected, and we will, by necessity, need to sign off on them, etc., etc. But what is happening to my Cayman when grown persons who interview before the entire country for a particular job of high standards, why do we need a code of conduct? And yeah, they might have them all over the world, but I always say Cayman is better and Cayman different, and we are just better than having a code of conduct. We know what the code of conduct is. We all went to church. We all come out of homes. We all went to nice schools. We know what a code of conduct is. But anyway, just want to say that. And
thank you.
I don't like you being breathless.
Thank you very much, my dear. Take care. We're going to take our last commercial break. When we return, we will have our candidates respond to the questions and comments, and also for closing comments also. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. 122 Industrial Way, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers and stay prepared. 949-2511. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Now is your chance for big savings on all GE appliances at Bransource Home Gallery. Bransource needs to make room for more stock, so that means big savings for you. Save $600 on GE front load launch repairs and save $800 on double wall ovens and French door smart refrigerators. Save on dishwashers, ranges, microwaves, cooktops, wine coolers, and more. Now through Saturday the 27th at Bransource Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Don't miss this chance for big savings on all GE appliances. Hurry in today.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. This is a paid show by the Progressives, members of the Progressives. In the studio with me, Mr. Roy McTaggart, Mr. Joey Hugh, Ms. Barbara Connolly, Mr. David White, Mr. Frank Cornwall. Folks, we had several questions and comments as well. I want to give you an opportunity to address as many of those as you can, but I also want to give all five of you an opportunity for some closing comments. So maybe the way we work it is that when you're responding to a comment or a question, after that you may want to just give your closing comments because we may not have enough time to return to you. Okay? Sure. And one more question as well, if you want to fit that in there. One of our listeners wanted to know, had for Mr. Hugh, why aren't you running to become the next premier for the country?
Let me, all right, I'll take that. I'll start off. OC, thank you. I'll take the last question first. I am honored to have the opportunity to serve as the deputy of the Progressives to my colleague, Honourable Roy McTaggart. That is the way it works. We were duly, Mr. McTaggart was nominated and voted in by the members of the Progressives, and he selected myself as his deputy. I think his experience in the financial services, his experience in dealing with entities globally, his calm and measured demeanor is what we need as we continue to come out of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the challenges that we face globally in our financial services. And so I am actually honored to play the role and support of the leader of the party, Mr. McTaggart, and should we all be elected to be his deputy premier as he takes the role of premier. I just want to touch on one of the comments about the subsidies, and I guess that means concessions. Personally, my ministry this year have not been involved in the negotiations of or any the issuing of any concessions. We are in the final stages of developing a policy towards how we assess concessions, and wherever possible, we will certainly make that policy and any future concessions public unless there is sensitive competitive information in there. I think Minister McTaggart may speak to it, but we have made as much as we can make. We certainly did not write a lot of the concessions that have been issued, but over the last few months on several FOI requests, we have publicized as much as we're legally allowed to publicize under those agreements. I want to thank I think there's another caller congratulating the work that we've done in the small business sector, and I just want to thank that caller for her kind words and to say that it is near and dear to me. I'm an entrepreneur by heart. I've started several businesses over the years and had to work hard and learn from my mistakes and recognizing also very quickly that I fell into that trap of thinking that all Caymanians should be in financial services or should be in tourism. And, the more I got involved in politics, the more I met with people and moved around the communities, I realized that our Caymanians have greater dreams and aspirations. And we are now exposed to a very global competitive world, both in our businesses and personally. And that's why we encourage everyone to attend university and get degrees, because you're not just competing against Caymanians, you're competing against the world. But also for those who have a vision and a dream to develop a business, we want to be here to give them that support, not just to develop it locally, but to take that globally as well. And just to finally say thank you for taking up too much of the time. But, listen, we have as a government, prior to COVID, we had a very strong economy. Unemployment was at its lowest it had been in decades. Minister McTaggart was doing a fantastic job in developing our cash reserves and managing our finances. That gave us a confidence to put money before lives during COVID. We've managed that situation very well to this date. We are not out. The world is nowhere near seeing the end of COVID, and there's still much work to be done. I think this government is a government that the country needs to continue managing this situation and to continue to build and develop our economy for the benefit of our people.
Okay. Mr. McTaggart?
Thank you, O.C. Just to continue where Joey left off with regard to this thing with concessions and stuff. Generally speaking, these applications come into my ministry, and we're responsible for processing them. And normally with these things, although I am absolutely, I am the Commissioner for Stamp Duty, and my decisions and any discretions I have are absolute. I would always take these things back to the Cabinet for a decision or for recommendations from them as to what we should do. Minister Hugh mentioned that we have given. There has been FOI requests, and the ministry has revealed all of the information that we can legally do so because of the existence of some of these, confidentiality clauses that exist in these agreements. I have to say, it's been some time since we've processed any requests for a concession. I think at this point in time, with the economy progressing at the way that it is right now, it is difficult to justify it. Most of these were given at a time when economic activity was at a lull. There was nothing going on. And I know from as early as 2013 and 14 that that 2 governments ago, that we went out to the private sector to ask them, are there any projects that you can get off the ground and build? We are prepared to give concessions in order to get economic activity going. And that is a tool that any government ought to has to assist in stimulating your economy. But I want to close as well, OC, just by saying that, for the Progressives and the Alliance, we are presenting at this point 12 candidates to this country that we believe are viable and deserve to be elected. If we are given that chance and we are able to form the government, what it means for us is that we will not have to go back to any negotiating or horse trading, as some have used, the term some have used, in order to form a government. What existed in 2017 is not something I want to see a repeat of. So I have done my best, and we are doing our best to present a slate of candidates that if we are elected, we can form the government, and from day one, we can hit the ground running. And so I encourage people to look closely and to consider that in its totality as they go to the polls and on April 14th. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Barber.
Thank you, OC, for this opportunity to attend the show today, and we really appreciate you having us here. I would actually like to take this opportunity to thank the government ministries and the agencies and all of the people involved in assisting us, but in particular, Mr. Brian Chin-Yee of NRA, because I would not have been able to do all that I did in my constituency without his help, and that also of the minister who made the recommendation. I would also like to thank the people of Georgetown South for the privilege to serve them over the past 4 years, and I am asking for their support again on April the 14th. And I pledge that I will continue to serve them to the best of my ability if I am elected on April the 14th. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Mr. White.
Thank you, OC. I would just like to thank the constituents of Georgetown West for having me be their representative for the last 4 years. And I'm very happy that there are 4 candidates in Georgetown West, so there is a choice. And for each of us, we will be putting forward why we feel that we will be the better candidate to represent them for the next 4 years. And I would like to say that I'm not going to be insulting, and I'm not going to get into any negative campaigning, but I just want to say that Georgetown West is a place I've grown up. I've spent over 60 years there. I'm not just coming there now. I've grown up there. I've worked all my life there. So I feel that I am the right person for the next 4 years for Georgetown West, and I will not be getting into no gutter politics or any negative slanging with any of the other candidates. I just want to put forward that I feel that I am the best candidate for Georgetown West, and we'll just leave it to the constituents of Georgetown West to vote for who they feel will be the better candidate, which I hope on April the 4th they feel that I am and will vote for me. Thank you.
They know what they have. They don't know what they will get.
I hope so.
Mr. Cornwall, sir.
Yes, OC. I would like to say that I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here and to let the citizens of Georgetown Central know what they can expect from me. I'm looking forward to getting to work on their behalf after April 14th and working with the Progressive Alliance to make their daily lives better. And I'd also like to take this time to say that I know that this show is limited to time, but I encourage the residents in Georgetown Central to come to my yard meetings so that we can discuss issues and identify solutions that can make them happy. And I hope that they will support and elect me as a representative for Georgetown Central April 14th, because I have been tried, I've been tested, and I've been proven that I get results. And I'm looking forward to their support April 14th as their new representative for Georgetown Central.
Okay, folks, I want to thank you very much.
2 seconds before.
Sure.
2 seconds before we go, OC.
Okay.
Just want to remind everyone that tomorrow evening we are having a rally at the Kirkholme Centre at 7:30. At which point the whole theme tomorrow evening is to launch our manifesto. So I invite the public to come out, come one and all, come and listen to what we have to say. We'll have a number of speakers that will speak to the policies and the aims of that are contained in the manifesto, and it'll be a chance to meet up and engage with all of our candidates here.
Excellent. Folks, you have heard from some members of the Progressive, Mr. Roy McTaggart, Mr. Joe Hugh, Miss Barbara Conlon, Mr. David White, and Mr. Frank Cornwall. I want to wish you all the best. Folks, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce,